How do you go from being an engineer to a carpenter to building props for people? It takes a long time, and I fell into it, like a lot of people do. I was very lucky. Essentially what happened was a friend of mine who's a huge Doctor Who fan asked me if I would build a TARDIS for him if he paid for the materials. And so I said, sure, why not? How hard can it be? So a few months later, we found out exactly how hard it is, and we had a TARDIS. And that was just before I moved down to Melbourne. And when I got down here from Brisbane, I was then asked almost immediately by somebody else if I could build a TARDIS in 3 weeks. And I said, sure, why not? How hard can it be? And that's kind of how it happened. From TARDISes, I went on to building other things, and initially I was just building basically what I wanted to have. I really wanted a Captain America shield, so I did some research and built myself a Captain America shield, and that was then displayed in an art gallery. Friends of mine at Art Boy put that up in one of their exhibitions, and it just went from there. I basically just wanted to build these things for me, really. Then word got out there, people started liking what I was doing and started asking me to build them for them as well. After that, it was just trying to keep up with the workload, really. Ever since, it's been about a year now, doing it full time, and I've got a list of projects I want to develop that are as long as my arm. But it all started with the TARDISes, moved on to the Captain America shields, and then here we are. What's it like when we go to conventions and people handle the gear? It's amazing. It's absolutely brilliant. We go to a lot of conventions and we go to galleries and exhibitions, and we take the things along. And one of my main things, the underlying part of what I do, is I want them to look good, but I want them to feel better. When you pick the shield up or handle the hammer, I want it to feel right. I want you to know what you've got in your hand is the real deal. And we get a lot of families come along, and some of the reactions we get from the kids are amazing. They just go wild for it. They've never seen anything like it. Never did they ever think in their life they would hold Thor's hammer. Some of the reactions we get from the adults and the parents are exactly the same. 40, 50-year-old ladies and men holding Captain America's shield, something they'd dreamed of their entire life, and the smiles on their faces. We even had one lady cry, which wasn't on purpose. It was a good cry, but it's an astonishing thing to see people light up when they hold the stuff that I've made. It feels great. It is probably my favourite part of what I do. What I've started doing is I've started trying to make smaller items like orbs, or the police box signs, or the pull to open signs, or even a range of key rings that we've started as well, so that people can have smaller items and don't have to lay out the $1,000 it costs to get a shield. The orbs that we make are actually a solid resin cast orb, which is I hand sculpted to create the mould, which is a silicon mould, which we then pour with about ½ kilo of resin and then spray up and buff in a silver. And again, they're not made of plastic, and they're not light either. They have quite a weight in the hand. So when you pick them up, I'll often see people pick them up and be quite surprised at how heavy they are. I've just started slush casting helmets. There's going to be a list of helmets that I want to do, starting with a Captain America one. Some of the other things that are in development are supernatural angel blades, bat'leths from Star Trek, a Buffy the Vampire scythe. Let me just check the board out. Leather Captain America harnesses and belts for carrying your shield on. We do TARDIS DVD cabinets. I'm expected to know a little bit about TARDISes. And we do build them. We've built maybe 4 or 5 full-size TARDISes for people in the past, and I have my own which travels around with us. And we tend to try and take the TARDISes out to conventions, and we'll do the odd party or event or wedding, for instance.